Alright, here we are. What is going on, creatures? Monster Man Vapes here. Going live mainly just to talk. Um, there's been a couple of things that I've been hearing around the vape community and the industry itself, and I kind of want to put my personal opinion about it. Uh, I was watching Trucking Vapes' live show the other night, Friday night, um, and about after a few hours, started like I believe 8:30, and around 10:30, maybe even toward 11, maybe 11. Um, I saw that one of the other reviewers that I watch, Jay Hayes, did this big blowout sale on his website, and I looked it up, and he was selling juice like crazy. And I found out what he said that Jersey had this new tax, and I'm not going to go into too many details about it because I am not that familiar in politics, and I prefer not to be. But um, apparently, he had to sell all his juice uh, before the next day, or something's going to happen. And he took a big hit on it. And this is another thing about the FDA that I just don't seem to get. I mean, because right now, as everybody knows, the FDA is trying to, in turn, get rid of vaping. Now, a lot of people may say they're just trying to regulate it, but most of us know that's not the case. They're trying to get rid of it altogether. Grim Green said a few months ago that hell, even back in 2009, 2010, when vaping started overall getting into the marketplace, California wanted to completely get rid of vaping altogether, and it just wows me that something that is a alternative to cigarettes that actually works and actually is less harmful to you than cigarettes. The government wants to get rid of it, and the, we all know the truth about vaping. There's nothing. Okay, vaping was never considered harmless. It was always considered less harmful. And I stand by that 100%. Boom shakalaka, come on, man, don't be doing that. I'm here to talk real talk about vaping, and it's but where was I? Oh yeah, vaping is less harmful. It's not completely harmless. We all know that. No, I would not. But um, I did and at the same time it pisses me off of what uh, the government's wanting to do. I mean, we all know what cigarettes can do to us. So why are they still around? I mean, I mean, here's another thing what the government doesn't seem to realize. Vaping is already I think last year of 2017, vaping had a profit of like $10 billion. I could be wrong on that. I could be overshooting it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was up there. And yet the government wants to get rid of it because vaping is quote unquote more harmful for you than cigarettes. And I think that's total bullshit. And here's the thing: we got shops all over this country. I mean, there's a shop 5 minutes from me. There's another shop that's 10 minutes. There's another one that's I mean, within a 20 to 25 mile uh, radius of my home, there's like 4 or 5 vape shops within a 25 mile radius of where I live. And those could be gone. And it's horseshit. Because I'm looking at this more as a, I guess you can say it's more as a non-vapor, this normal average Joe standpoint, is that the government, all they want is money. The government wants a steady income of funds for the country, and yet they want to get rid of something that's bringing in a pretty decent amount of money. And I could be wrong on all this. Feel free to correct me. But again, though, we got these shops pay tax and they pay their taxes and everything to keep their doors open, and yet the FDA wants to get rid of them. I mean, you'll have people out of work, small businesses closing. That's money lost. And at the same time, and big tobacco's sales have not gone, they're not hurting. Trust me, they are not hurting whatsoever. And guys like me, I love this industry, guys. I love it. I love meeting the awesome people. When I chill at my local shop, the people that I get to meet, talk to, and see where they're at as far as their level of vaping, it's awesome. And I just hate it to see that the government wants to get rid of something that's less harmful and works. And I'm fairly young, guys. I mean, I'm young. I'm not as old as guys like indoor smokers, or I'm not saying they're old, but they're definitely older than I am. I mean, I'm a young buck, and I smoked for about 2 years. And all right, let me give you excuse me 1 second. I had something on my face here. I felt like, so I had to get it off. Sorry that looked weird, but I had to do something. But I smoked for about 2 years, and they say, well, that's nothing like a guy who smoked for 20 years or 25 years, 40 years, and I do get that. I mean, I really do. And at the same time, though, it takes one. We all know it takes one cigarette, just one, to get you hooked. We all know that. And a little bit of a story here on what got me into vaping. One day, I'm smoking cigarettes. A buddy of mine came over. I had dinner with my parents. Went out to go eat. And all of a sudden, I get a phone call from my mother, who told me that she's taken my dad to the hospital, saying that his chest hurts and that his chest hurts and his face is bright red. He can hardly breathe. And also said that his chest feels like Thor took his hammer and whopped him right in the chest. And at that point, I knew he was having a heart attack. And a pretty bad one. My buddy was with me, and I told him to get in the car, his car, and let's haul ass to the hospital. Sure enough, my dad had what doctors call the widowmaker. And I am very blessed and thankful that the doctors were able to save my dad's life. I also was thankful that the Lord did not take my dad. And so after they got him stabilized and got everything done, they put a couple of stents in his heart. Um, he didn't need no bypass, which I was very thankful for. I didn't have to rip him open. And so they got him stabilized, got the stents in, got everything back to normal, and um, he was in the ICU for a couple days. I was waiting there in the waiting room, pacing back and forth, and finally a nurse came in and said that your father's okay. He's stabilized. All his vitals are back to normal. Give us a half hour and you can go see him. Well, a half hour came and she came back and took me and my mom up to go see him. And on a good note, when I walked in there and the doctor was talking to him, he was laughing and smiling as if nothing happened. And thankfully, thanks to the Lord and those doctors, that the damage to his heart was next to non-existent. And I'm always going to be thankful to the Lord and to that doctor for that. But my dad, when he saw me, had a very serious look. Gave me a very serious look. He grabbed my hand and told me, promised me he would quit because the cigarettes played a part in that heart attack. So, and I tried the big pharma remedies. I tried the patches, didn't work. I tried the gum, didn't work. Got those nasty dissolvents that you put on your tongue. It did not work. I was always going back to cigarettes. Well, a couple of weeks go by, and a good friend of mine, not the one who drove me, another buddy of mine, happened to show up one day to my house, and he pulled out what I think was the Vision spinner with the aero tank. Oh no, that's the same buddy of mine, actually. And he took a drag off of it, and he blew it near me so I could smell it, and I'm like, dude, what the hell is that? And he goes, oh, it's a vape. I'm like, a what? He goes, an electronic cigarette. It's got nicotine in it, but it's got flavoring, and there's no tobacco or nothing in it. It's you basically inhale and exhale nicotine water vapor with flavor. And I'm like, where the hell did you get that at? Oh, there's a vape shop about 10, 12 minutes from here. He goes, hey, tomorrow let me take it there. Well, next day goes, he calls me up, telling me he's outside my house. And he said, get in. We went to the vape shop, and I felt like I felt like a lost kid in the mall. You know what I mean? Looking around like, what the world is all this stuff? And I'm looking at E-Leaf 30 watts, E-Leaf 50 watts, Aspire CF Sub-Ohm tube batteries, EVIX. I mean, I'm looking at these things like, what in the world is all this? And a guy walks up and goes and looks at my buddy, who apparently remembered him, and goes, "Oh, hey man, what are you doing back?" And my buddy looks over at me and goes, "Well, this guy needs to get off cigarettes." The guy looked at me and goes, "Well, are you willing to make the transition?" And I said, "Yeah, man. I got to get off of cigarettes somehow." And so he looked at me, and this guy was Casey Vapes is where I went. Anybody who knows where that is, you know, Matt Brown got me off of smokes, and I'm very thankful for him. Me and him became good buds, and me and him have been pretty cool. On it went from me asking questions to him to now seeing, oh hey man, look what I built, and I got the Aspire CF Sub-Ohm rechargeable tube battery with the Aspire Atlantis version 1 tank. I went straight to Sub-Ohm, merely because finding out that what my buddy had was above ohm or 1 ohm or higher, and I tried to hit off of his, and it didn't feel like it was going to work. So I wanted something that was actually going to give me my nicotine, and so that's when he went with the CFs with that setup that I got, the CF sub ohm battery with the Atlantis One. And so, and I was trying. We were probably there for 2-3 hours. It took me about 30 minutes to figure out the device I wanted to get. Something that wasn't going to be too expensive, which came out to like $70-$80. And the rest of the time I'm trying flavors, and this was before the FDA fee for 10 cents, $1, whatever, to try all the flavors. You just walk in, and if you're of age, you try flavors for free. And me personally, guys, I do not like tobacco. I do not like desserty flavors, although there are a couple that are kind of desserty, but at the same time they're not. And those ones I think are okay. Like Possum Trot's Witch's Brew. That's a pear with chai spice and marshmallow. I would say that's considered a dessert flavor, but that's probably the only one I actually like. But I ended up getting just a straight raspberry flavor. I'm a big raspberry fan. Actually, I mixed my own liquid as in my channel. I have a juice mixing tutorial, and raspberry is always my go-to flavor. I've yet to have a raspberry flavor taste bad. Okay, Scratch, I had one, and that's because it had no sweetener in it, so it tasted a little sour. But I put sweetener, I got some sweetener, some vape sweetener, and put it in there, and it was good after that. And I probably had that set up for maybe, I want to say 6 months. And that right there is where I started going real insane. Because I'm like, man, because for anyone who knows the Aspire Atlantis, it wasn't a cloud chasing tank. It was probably more of a flavor tank, in my opinion. But I wanted more. I started getting that addiction to wanting more. More power, more airflow, more vapor, more flavor. And lo and behold, I got into box mods, drippers. My first box mod, and I remember all my devices. Actually, it's actually right here. This was my third device, second box mod. This was back in 2015. This is I believe the company's called Pioneer for You, IPv3 Li. This is old school tech, but as you can clearly tell, it's in pretty nice condition. And that's just me, guys. When I buy something, I treat it well. I treat it with respect, because I use my own money to pay for these things, and I'm that kind of guy. When I buy something, I treat it well. My first dripper was my first box mod was the Sigeli 150 watt, and my first dripper was I believe it was I can't remember, but I can't remember the company, but the RDA was the El Caprone. And at that time I couldn't build, didn't even know how to build, so at the time Casey Vapes was able to build coils for me. And they were building me some fused Claptons, normal Claptons, twisted wire. I mean, they were treating me right. I told them what I would want. I tip them $10. And I'm a generous guy. When I go to a restaurant, they say the tip should be 15-20%. If my bill comes out to $10, I give a $10 tip. And now I'm not saying I don't double every time. I don't double my tip, the bill. I match up the bill every time. But I generally, for a bill, I put $10 to $15 because you're taking, especially like if I go to a restaurant and the service is on point, quick, uh, didn't get the order wrong. If the waitress was on her A game and say my bill was $30, I give her a $10, $15 tip because she got to make a living and she's doing a good job doing it. She deserves it. Same way with the vape shops back then, especially for back then, because now shops can't really build coils. And so I would give them $10. Then I started getting in the building. I went from the El Caprone to the Twisted Messes. Then I started wanting to get bigger RDAs because the coils that I was learning to build were pretty chunky, and I still build chunky coils. I mean, in my Centurion version 2 here, I have a twisted build that is 10 wraps of twisted 24 gauge Gringe Life comp wire. 10 wraps on a 3.15 at 150 watts. My evolution in building and devices have gone crazy. And I know what a lot of people are going to say. You don't need crazy power to get good vapor and good flavor and good vapor production, and I know that. I know that without a doubt. The reason why I like a lot of power is because it's just the way I am. It's just the way I like to vape. And everybody has their own way of vaping. I've seen people still vape at 30, 40, 50 watts. And I see some guys vaping at 200, 300 watts. And for me, I'm more of that 2, 3, even up to 400 watt guy. I have a lipo mod being built for me. This is going to be my second lipo mod ever built. And it's going to run on a 5,000 mAh per cell 4S 4-cell lipo pack. That's crazy. I just like that hard hitting vape. Really hard hitting. I know you can get a lot of vapor and a lot of flavor from a 50 watt vape. I get that. But to me, to my preference, it's not warm enough. It doesn't have that oomph to it. And that's what I like. And I will never bash anybody who prefers to vape, even if you're still vaping like something like the Nautilus from Aspire or anything of those guidelines, mouth to lungs. I'm never going to bash you for it because that's the way you like to vape. Like Jay Hayes, let's take him for example. No disrespect to that man at all. He has my utmost respect. I've been subscribed to him for some time. I'm a patron on his Patreon because I believe in what he does. I support Matt from Suck My Mod. I support Zophie Vapes, DJ LSP Vapes, which he actually subscribed to my channel. Daniel, hope to get to meet you in the future, brother. And each one of them has their own preference to vape. And I would never bash them or anybody else. Never will. I respect all vapors alike. Just because if I'm talking to you and I ask you what your setup is and what you're running, I'll be like, nice. Or, I'll just be like, ask your preference. Now, people say the way I vape is crazy, and I will admit it is off the wall. But they're not bashing me for it. They just think it's crazy. Just like I'm just going to be like, well, if a guy says, I like vaping at 50 watts, I'm like, well, to each his own. Jay Hayes' Facebook group, Wicks and Coils. I put a build photo up there one time. It was a Twisted Clapton 26 with 30, Helix with more 30. 6 wraps on a 3, came out to a 0.24. And I vaped that sucker for a while at 200, 250 watts. I know, crazy, right? but that's it, at that kind of power, at that wattage, and at that voltage, which I can't remember what the volts were. I think it was somewhere in the 6 volt range. It was warm. It had a lot of throat hit to it, and that's what I like. I like hard hitting vapes. You know, it's like this Maxo 315 with this build at 150 watts. It hits hard. It's flavorful. It's got a nice throat hit to it. I've also been vaping on Suck My Mods Nudge 22 single coil. This has a fused Clapton in it, which is 24 gauge Grinch Life comp wire with 36 Canthal. 6 wraps on a 3 came out to a 0.11. And that's generally natural with N90 wire. On my, I got the noise on this Noisy Cricket version 2 in my goon, in this goon. I have another fused Clapton build. This is 24 N80 with 32 N80.09. Now this doesn't hit terribly hard, but it's a good enough. This with this build and this build on the goon, it's a pleasant enough vape where I can get a nice flavor, nice cloudage out of it. Now sometimes I like to take it easy. I really do. So I'll usually run this cricket in parallel mode with either this build or this build. Depends on what I'm looking at. And if I'm sounding all nasally and all that, my apologies. Allergy season's still going on for here in the Midwest. Let me find a tissue here real quick before I get too far into this. And I do apologize in advance. I do apologize, guys. I really do. But that's what I love seeing, though, in this industry. I love seeing variety. People who are still going low wattage, people going high wattage, low voltage, high voltage, parallel, series, unregulated, regulated, little mods with little tanks, big mods with big tanks. I just love the variety in this industry. I mean, this stuff is awesome. Seeing now, granted, a lot of companies haven't been very innovative, in my opinion, as of late. But with RDAs, it's kind of hard not to be nowadays. I mean, everything that could have been done to an RDA has been done already. The only thing I can see someone being innovative is if you can't really. It's hard to really be different anymore as far as RDAs. Now with Tofo, with that profile RDA with the spring-loaded ceramic insert that springs up that push the cotton into the mesh. Now that's innovation. I will admit that is a great innovation because we all know with mesh, if you have one little tiny spot on that mesh that's not being touched by saturated cotton, it's going to burn. You're going to get a bad hit. Not a good time. But having that spring-loaded ceramic plug basically pushing against that cotton to make sure that mesh is covered, that's awesome. That's innovation. First RDA I ever heard of having that, especially when it comes to mesh. Me personally, I'm not a fan of mesh. I don't know why, just something I never liked. But I'm seeing drama. Let's talk about drama here for a little bit. And I'm not one for drama, but I do like to point something here. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing it to help others. I'm putting my 2 cents into the pot. There are people that have told me about how I'm a good coil builder. I don't see myself as a phenomenal coil builder. I can build clean Claptons, fused Claptons, but I am not an innovative builder. I am not a complex builder. I normally stick to the uh, simpler stuff, um, like twisted wire, fused Clapton wire. I stay somewhat simple, and it's also because that's just what I like. There's people out there who that always want to vape on aliens or staggered fuse Claptons or stapled staggered fuse Claptons, and if they can do it, let them do it. Let them vape on what they like. But for here on YouTube, when you become a reviewer or a vaping YouTuber in any sort, you're there to, like, Jay sees himself as an entertainer, but at the same time he's still educating people. That's a good thing. He's still educating people. He's still helping people, but he's having fun doing it. He's throwing comedy in there because a normal review, I will admit, is boring. And the reviews I have done and some of the stuff I have done, yes, it's boring. I get it. I'm still new to this. I'm still trying to find something that makes me me, something that can put me separate from guys like Jay, from guys like Suck My Mod. Like, look at Trucking Vapes. He does all of his videos in the cab of his truck. He's a trucker. That's cool. I can never do what he does, but if he wants to do it, let him do it. And that's why a lot of these YouTubers like Jay, let's look at Wicks and Coils here for a second. Jay and that Facebook group of his, Wicks and Coils. It's there not just for him to help even further, but to let other people help each other. I can't stand it when I go to vape groups and there's nothing but drama. There are people there who would say their opinion, say if Cloud Chasers Incorporated come out with a version 3 of the Centurion, and someone says in their right opinion that they don't like it, they think it's garbage. There's going to be at least one person in the comment section of that post that's going to get all tight. Their panties are going to be in a bunch, and they're going to bash that person because they're going to be like, oh, you just don't know good quality, you don't know good RDA, yada, yada, yada. I hate that. Hate it. I can't stand it. If one day I meet Jay and he says I'm crazy for vaping the way I'm vaping, I'm not going to take it offensive. I'm probably going to say, okay, I'm crazy, but that's what I like. And I know for a fact you'll probably respect me for it. Or there's people if on a vape group, if there are rules and the people break the rules and they think that they're in the wrong, well, you should have read the rules before most vape groups have rules, and you can usually see those rules before you even submit the request to join the group. Apparently, some people just don't want to read the rules. Before I joined Wicks and Coils, I read the rules. If somebody asks a question about how to do a certain thing, if I know how to do it, or at least I know a way to do it, I'll pitch in my 2 cents like, hey, try it this way. And a lot of times they'll say, thank you. I'm here to help people, guys. It's like someone asked me, why do I use spool tamers for a lot of my Clapton wire? It depends on what the wire. If I'm using really thin gauge, I'm probably going to use the spool tamers just because it makes a consistent amount of pressure, an even amount of pressure on that Clapton wire while it's going around the core. It's easy. It's efficient. And you always come out with clean Claptons. I don't do aliens. I have yet to master that. I can't do a stagger to save my life. It's like my vice is right here. You can probably hear me hitting it. This is my vice. My vice is right here. My drill. As you can see, I built wire not too long ago because you can see the fused Clapton wire right there that's still in the chuck. Here's some Clapton wire right here. Fused Clapton. This is the 24. This is probably the 24 Gringe life with the 36. I actually scratched that. That's the 24 with the 32. And someone at the shop I go to here in my town said mine are pre-made. In my mind, in my mind I was going pre-made. Have you seen pre-made coils compared to mine? But I said, no, I can guarantee you they're not pre-made. But if you want to think that, if people want to think my coils are pre-made, then they have every right to. I have two live streams on my channel where you can see me building these coils. I'm building them right in front of the camera. It's like my last one that I did outside my house. The 22 and 28 fused Claptons, those monstrous Claptons that I made. What company is going to pre-make those for sale? Because a lot of RDAs can't house something like that. The drama and the drama in the vape community and people accusing others of being either idiots, which or not. Okay, I took that a little bit wrong. Not idiots, just people who don't take the necessary precautions to understand devices, or when it comes to making wire. When I started building, or when I wanted to start building, what did I do? I went on YouTube and I looked up tricks on how certain people did wire. I looked up Twisted Messes. I looked up Grim Green. I looked up Homeboy Josh, The Art of Vaping, Squid Dude, and seeing how they do it. I tried it out. Some of the tricks did not work for me, so I figured out. So I would also figure out tricks that worked for me. Figuring some of those out on my own, taking a method and tweaking it to my liking and what makes it easier for me. Coil building's an art form. The trick is to find a method that works for you. I love this industry and I love this community so much. It hurts me to see drama like this going on. It really irritates me, I swear. I thought I'd do this to get it off my chest, because I know some people like my videos. And that's another thing, guys. The people who watch my videos and who like my videos, I am thankful. I know I'm not that big yet. I'm not looking to really get anything out of this. If I do, that's just a bonus. My main goal on this channel is to help you. That's my primary objective. I support everybody. I'm not one of those guys who only supports a select few only because they have certain ways. No, I support everybody. I am willing to put that much weight on my shoulders I'm 6'5". I'm 350 pounds. I'm a big man. I got big shoulders. I can put that weight on. I know I don't put videos up that often, and I can do more, and I know that. And I'm kicking myself in the hind end because I'm not putting up that much content. And I'm trying my best to do it. I give you my word, I am trying my hardest. But working a full-time job, working in a factory, working nights, does take a toll on you. If somebody like a DJ LSP Vapes, Daniel, if you're still subscribed to this channel, man, and you see this, tell Jay and tell everybody that I got their back. I know I'm not a big YouTuber. I'm still small. I'm, Jay's up here and I'm way down here. It's like my mom, Jay, and all them. You guys are all up here. I'm way down here. But thing is, even though I'm way down here, guys, I still have your backs. I'm not looking for fame. I'm looking to do what I love, do my passion, and that's coil building and vaping. Anybody who has a question for me, if anybody has a question for me, feel free to put a comment on any of my videos. If you have an idea of what to do for content, as far as vape related stuff and reasonable stuff, don't go hog wild and say, try to blow smoke vape tricks with while hula hooping. No, don't do that, because I can't. I can't at all. But if you have an idea for a device that you want to see reviewed, put it in the comments. Or if you're a new vapor who's trying to build fuse Claptons but you can't seem to find a trick that works for you, I'll do a video that shows every trick that I know. If it helps you, if it helps you in your quote unquote vaping journey, I just call it your level of vaping. If it helps you progress, if it helps you understand the level that you're at, don't be afraid to comment on me. That's all I'm saying. Don't be afraid. I'm a big man, and some people say I'm a little intimidating, but I'm not. I'm a gentle giant. I mean, I'm called Bear for a reason, because I'm a big dude, but I got a heart of gold. I'm a teddy bear. I'll say it right in front of the camera. I'm a giant teddy bear. I'm a nice guy. Allergies, man. They're killer. I want to be here for people. Do what I love. It's like one day, actually, I've been thinking about opening up a vape shop of my own. And I've already got a list of people that would apply. Dossie G, what's up, man? Do you have if you're a vapor, do you have any questions? Feel free to comment them. Dossie G, I'm doing pretty good, man. Just covering some of the drama that's been going around in the industry as of late. More so when it comes to the FDA and other YouTubers who are bashing other YouTubers, and basically me putting my 2 cents in on the situation. Come on, get on there. Dr. G, do you still have any questions, man? Feel free to comment them. Just make sure they're reasonable. That's all I ask. Don't be what the other guy did by would you vape poop for $20? No, nothing like that. Tell you what, give me a second here. There we go. But where was I? Oh yeah. Basically, Joshua. I mean, it was humorous. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, this is more of a serious subject. Um, I'm passionate about the vape industry, and when I get serious, I would like others to be serious for a moment and let me speak and be serious about it. You know what I mean? Um, because some people don't seem to get the severity of the situation that us as a vape community are in. Like if you know Jay Hayes at all or any vaping YouTuber, there has been some stuff going around about the FDA. Where was I at? Oh yeah, I was talking about me wanting to open up a vape shop one day, and it's going to be a uphill battle. I get that, but I'm already making a plan out for it, and I'm figuring out what steps to take one by one. Because my view on this industry is when it comes to a vape shop, customer service always comes first. If someone comes in, let's say someone comes in and buys a device from me, well then the next day they come in saying something happens, like the coil got burnt really quick or something, I will take the time to help them. If someone is coming in and wants to make the transition from smoking on to vaping, I apologize. I'm biting my nose, man. It's allergies are killing me. My apologies for that. My connection got interrupted, but anyway, um, where was I at? Oh yeah, customer service always comes first. If someone comes in and wants to make the transition smoking to vaping, I will take the time to figure out what they need. Um, I will if I open up a business and hire people, I'll make sure they get all the training that they can possibly that they need that will be needed. And I know I'm rambling here a little bit, but my mind's doing so much stuff with this industry. I have to get it out there. I can't hold it in. I've quote unquote bit my tongue for too long. But if anybody here knows Jay Hayes or Zophie Vapes or Suck My Mod, um, any of those guys, yeah, Jay, Zophie, Matt and Vanessa from Suck My Mod, um, the Vaping Bogan, Grim Green, tell them that the Monster Man Vapes has their back. Excuse me. But in all, guys, be respectful of your fellow vapor. If you're a vaping YouTuber, you started the channel to help people. That should be your primary objective. Don't do it just for the fame. Don't do it just to get a plaque from YouTube and be done with it. Don't. That's taking all your time and effort and the education that you've given people, the advice you've given people. At that point, in my opinion, that was all for nothing. And I think people know who I'm talking about. Some people who watch this might know who I'm talking about, and that's Vaping Fagan. Go to Trucking Vapes' live feed, and I don't know how to put links in. Oh, you're good, Dashi, but guys like Vaping Fagan, I was watching this live feed from Trucking Vapes. I'm just talking about stuff that's been going on currently in the industry and some drama that needs to be addressed within the vaping community. Put my 2 cents in there, you know what I mean? I'm the guy who would support people, and if drama comes up, I stand behind them. The vape industry, man. This channel is about vaping. Hence the name Monster Man Vapes. But Vaping Fagan, I believe that's how you pronounce that second half of the name, clearly said on okay, Dashi, to kind of give you an insight on that, vaping has always been considered a less harmful alternative to smoking. It's never been. It's not 100% harmless, but it's less harmful. It's in the UK the UK Health Administration, excuse me, clearly stated that they, in their research, they found that vaping is 95% less harmful than traditional tobacco cigarettes. And the UK is embracing it. Embracing vaping. Yeah, see, there you go. The UK is embracing it. Like, somebody on a vape group that I'm part of on Facebook said that over in the UK, you can now vape within the hospital grounds. Now you can't vape in the hospital itself, but you can vape on the grounds outside. You can't smoke on the grounds. You can't smoke tobacco cigarettes on the grounds. So what does that tell you? But here in the US, they want to get rid of it. It's the same stuff. The stuff over in the UK is the same stuff here in the US. It actually was surprising, but at the same time, though, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if it's less harmful, you know, why don't you be more lenient on it in a way, you know? And it also depends on the business, too. Like, here where I live, You used to be able to vape in bars. Or not vape in bars, smoke in bars. And also vaping. But a couple years ago, a bar that's down the road from me, um, my city said that you can no longer vape or smoke in public establishments, and that is a citywide law. But it and there's been people saying, "Oh, it's formaldehyde." Formaldehyde and vaping that got debunked almost instantly because you have to pump a lot of power through a coil. You have to basically pump enough power to where the coil is burning the cotton, like actually burning it, combustion, to even get any formaldehyde out of it. But here, I'll show you real quick. I don't see any fire. Do you? No combustion. Just a metal coil. There's a coil heating up enough to vaporize the liquid. It's not actually burning it. It's vaporizing it. There's a difference. There's no fire. There's no fire. There's no actual smoke. It's all just water vapor with nicotine and flavoring in it. And it's all water based. It's food grade. We ingest this shit all the time. Me personally, I've never ran into an issue with this. My health has not gone down at all, and I've been vaping for damn near 4 years. And I've never had a health problem from it yet. In all honesty, I feel as a vapor, I'm no, it doesn't. It okay. This is gonna be a short little funny story for you. I vape the fruit stuff, the candy stuff. That's just my preference on flavors. I've been told that after a few minutes of taking a few rips, I smell like the flavor. I smell like the flavor I'm vaping on. But I vape on the fruit stuff like watermelon, raspberry, um, blueberry, all that stuff. And I've never had a person say I stink. I smell like the fruit the flavor I'm vaping. And a lot of times, and I've never been told I smell bad. It actually is kind of cool. Like a little funny, the funny story. Where I work, on my break, I was outside vaping, and I was vaping a watermelon candy flavor. My break was about over, so I put all my vape stuff back up, and I walked back into to continue my job. As I walked back up to my job, I got told by a coworker that you smell like candy. They didn't say I stank. The best part, there's a lot of benefits to vaping, man. I mean, there's a guy who was like 60 to 70 years of age who had OCPD. You know that issue where you have a hard time breathing? This was on Vaping with Twisted 420's YouTube channel. And the person said on camera that their oxygen level when they were a smoker was like 80%. That's pretty bad. But when they started vaping, their oxygen level went back up to 95. This is a 60 to 70-year-old man with OCPD. The only I wouldn't really call it a health problem, a health concern. More so an allergy. There are people out there who vape, but they can't vape certain things. Like there's three different types of wire that are being used nowadays in vaping. One is called Canthol, one is called nichrome, and the other is stainless steel. Both are safe for vaping. However, there are people out there who have an allergy to nickel. And nichrome has a very minute amount of nickel in it. Now you can't vape pure nickel. I mean you can, but you can't run it in actual wattage mode. You have to do what's called temp control. And there are plenty of videos on that, so look up vaping with nickel, and there's plenty of videos of people who show you how to properly vape it. But nowadays, most people just vape on nichrome, canthol, and stainless steel. I do all three in combinations when I do builds. But nichrome has a small amount of nickel in it, not to be toxic, but nickel and chromium is the proper term. Safe to vape, but there's a small amount of nickel in it, a very small amount. A non-lethal amount. Enough to not make you sick. However, though, if you are allergic to nickel, any amount of nickel will cause an allergic reaction. The four ingredients in e-liquid is vegetable glycerin, VG, propylene glycol, PG, flavorings, which are normally either VG or PG based, and nicotine, which is VG based. And every ingredient is water based. Now there are people out there who are allergic to PG. So when I hear people say that, I say we'll go for the higher VG to PG ratio blend e-juices, and they range from 50-50, 50% PG to 50% VG, all the way up to where there's 100% VG or 90 VG, 10 PG, 80, 20. You see where I'm going with this. There are people who are allergic to certain flavors. It's actually not that complicated if you think about it. I'm just a hobbyist when it comes to this stuff. I build my own coils. I mix my own juice because I'm a hobbyist at this stuff. But there are people out there who, and Dashi, just go to if you have a vape shop anywhere in your area, a true vape shop. Walk in and they'd be more than happy to help you. So there are some complications that come into vaping, i.e. allergies. Whether they're allergic to nickel or PG or certain types of flavorings. But those are not harmful. Those are just more of an annoyance, in my opinion. I got a friend, she's allergic to nickel, and she can't vape nichrome. She can only vape canthol or stainless steel. I got another friend, he is allergic to tobacco flavors, actually. So he can't vape anything tobacco. You see where I'm going with this? It's really simple once you get the main concept down, it's pretty easy to get the rest of the information together. I've just been doing this for nearly 4 years, so I took the time to understand it. So if you don't vape right now, but you're thinking about trying it, just go to your local vape shop. That's all you gotta do. And they'd be more than happy to help you out from there. I promise. Give me 1 second here, Dashi. I couldn't quite read all your comments right away. And I can believe that. There's still more smokers here in the U.S. than there are vapors actually. Um, but sometimes some people don't want to believe the vaping. They want to be nostalgic, and if that's the proper term, and continue with cigarettes because a lot of people are afraid of something that is unknown. Me, I had to quit smoking, regardless. It's either I quit or something bad's going to happen to me down the road if I keep doing it, health wise. So I hunkered down. I said, okay, now that question depends on what you get as far as a device. Um, just kind of show you, these devices are high powered, multi battery. However, not all devices are like these. This is a 4 battery device, this is a 2 battery device. But, hear me out here real quick. There are a lot of devices out there that have built in batteries. A lot of them. So when a device has a built in battery, these allergies are killing me, I swear. Give me 1 second. Built-in battery devices means that you can just plug them in with a USB charger and charge them up. And a lot of times they come with the cable. You just need to have an adapter for the wall or for your car. Um, as far as expensive wise, the only thing that really is expensive is the setup, i.e., the device and the atomizer. But a lot of companies make kits that have both the device and the atomizer together. All you really need to buy separate is the juice and the batteries. Or if it has a built-in battery, then all you need to get is the juice with it. A lot of devices, for as far as like beginner stuff, run you about $30-$40. And normally you'll get, if you buy, and those are kits. A lot of them are kits. You can get, and it usually comes with like 2 or 3 coils for the atomizer, which more likely is going to be a tank, not a rebuildable like this. But a lot of them will come with basically all of them will come with tanks that have 2 or 3 coils with them. You have the device. Now some of them do come with batteries, external batteries, but some of them will also be built-in batteries. I would honestly, as a startup, go for the one that has a built-in battery, or if you find one that takes one external battery, you can still charge it through the USB that way. If it has if it has 2 or more external batteries, do not charge it through the pass-through in the device itself. You'll need to get an external charger, and that's where things can start getting. That's actually where things can start getting expensive. But once you get the setup though, the only thing you have to buy at that point down the road is more juice and more coils, and that stuff's fairly cheap. So yeah, that's really all. That's really all about it. It's just more starting out. Starting out can be pricey. Now a lot of times it's not very bad. It's actually very good, well priced. It just depends on what you are looking for, and where you get it basically, because a lot of shops are different. But my personal opinion, if you're looking to start out, go with something small. Like what's it called? The Aspire Proxys. I apologize for that. My feed went kind of, but I'm back now. Um, the device I would recommend is the Aspire Proxys kit. Um, it's a battery, and the battery comes with it. You have a tank with coils for the tank, and you get the device with a charge cable. So you need at that point. I'm sorry, I'm wiping my nose off camera because of allergies. But at that point, with a device like that, all you really need to buy is the juice, and you can get a 30 mil for $15, $17, and it could last you a week, 2 weeks, depending on how heavy you vape. Does that help you out any? My primary objective for this channel is to help people out who want to advance in their vaping at the level of vaping that they're at and go to the next step, or they want to make the transition from smoking to vaping. Do you have any other questions you would like to ask? What time is it anyway? Almost 5 o'clock in the morning. Holy shnikes. Yes, and it depends on how heavy you vape. I always say um, it can. As I'm going to say, it can. It can give you a dry mouth. It can give you a dry throat, but that's to be expected. Honestly, I never had problems with coughing or anything like that. If that makes any sense. Um, but I usually drink a ton of water throughout a day, and I know I'm drinking pop right now, but most of the time I'm drinking water. But as far as the dry throat, it can. But normally if you're vaping heavily, it can. If you're vaping light, um, it normally doesn't. It normally won't affect you. That's from what I've seen anyway. Let me know if this is helping you any at all. No, and here's why. When if you're trying to quit smoking without going to vaping, a lot of people will, like, if they're a pack a day smoker, they'll try to cut down like one cigarette at a time, but usually that doesn't work. I keep getting interrupted for some reason. Hey, I'm happy to hear that, man. I really am. I'm someone's actually getting help. I'm helping somebody. It actually does put a smile on my face. But as far as being addictive like smoking, it's actually not, because I really do appreciate it, man. You have no idea how good I feel when you saying that. When I hear someone who views my stuff and likes me doing this and helping out. It means a lot to me, man. It really does. But like your question about being addictive, nicotine juices range anywhere from different nicotine strengths. Now, the nicotine strength of e-liquid goes by X milligram per milliliter. I vape 6 milligram nicotine, so that's 6 milligrams of nicotine per milliliter of juice. So it's measured basically like alcohol. And so like you can start off at a if you're you can start off at one nickel level, uh, a nickel level that gives to where it gives you your nick fix to where you don't have you don't have the urge to go back to a cigarette. Um, stay I would you can stay on that for a while and then you can go down on your nicotine. You can go down your nick. You can go if you say you're at a 12 milligram nick, you can go down to some places have a nine. Some companies have a 9 nick, so you can go down to 9. Some then 6, 3, 2. A lot of companies have different levels of nick strength. A lot of them have 0, 3, 6, 12. Some go to 18, 24. Um, you can always start off, find where you get your nick fix. So if you get your if you get the nicotine you need through a 12, then later on you can go down to like say a 9, or a 9, then go down to 6, 3, 1.5. And once you hit 0, if you're you can if you're looking just to use vaping as a way to quit smoking and then to quit vaping altogether, there you go. You can just go down on your nick. It's simple, guys. It's real simple. I love helping people. I have a big heart, and there's a lot of people out there that need help, and I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there like the guys I mentioned earlier. But I thought, hey, put myself in that pot, and hoping one day I get up to their level. Not so much for fame wise, but just so I can truly help out the community, help out the industry. However, y'all, honestly, I think that's it for tonight. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm probably going to get off of here. If any of this helps any of you out after watching this, please let me know in the comments. Like I told the guy Dashi, I think that was his name. I couldn't quite remember. But if it helps you out, let me know. Like he said, it makes me feel great. My name is Bear, dude. My name is Bear. And I am Monster Man Vapes here on YouTube. That's what I go by, the Monster Man. Because I'm a big guy, and I got a lot of knowledge when it comes to this stuff. I'm a monster-sized man looking to help out people. But anyway, that's actually it for tonight, or this morning. Dashi, you have a good night too, brother, and I hope this information helps you out. And if you're a smoker, I hope you make the transition to get off those cancer sticks, brother. Remember, you can always go to your local shop or the nearest shop, and they'd be more than happy to set you up. I guarantee you'll find something you like and something that helps. But anyway, that's it for this one. Dashi, thank you so much, brother. I really hope so too, man. CYA. I'm not too big on that on synonyms, man. What does CYA mean? real quick if you can answer that question for me. Uh, all right, brother. You take it easy, man. Monster Man Vapes, signing off.